welcome to the Hanford Dixon Show. I'm Gabriella Cruz with the top dog. Oh man, he's already not turning off his phone. That was like a cue. We're going with it. We're not restarting. We've been sitting in here for a half hour. His phone wasn't going off.
Turn this thing down and
we had all the time in the world, top dog.
well, you know what? Normally you tell me to turn this thing down, and I just forgot today to
It was right on cue.
to get rid of that ringer. Now it's done.
Okay.
Now we can get on with the show.
Good job, bud. I'm glad you know how to work your phone.
Barely. You know, I'm not technology savvy like you. You know, you're savvy. You could do all that stuff. What's going on?
Oh, not too much. What's going on with you? I know that's your favorite question. What has the top dog been up to?
Yeah, and I can't wait. I'll tell you what I've been doing, but I can't wait to talk about you and see what the hell you've been doing because there ain't no telling. But you know what? I have just been just taking it easy, just kicking it, just really, really excited, you know, right now because I don't have to tell you because you're a football nut junkie like I am, and it's just that time of year again. I mean, I just can't believe it. I mean, it's already here. I'm a little bit sad, though, Gab, because it's upon a time right now where, you know, it's just I'm sitting back and I'm looking and I'm like, where is the summer gone?
I know. This is true. I've been thinking this a lot at the ballpark. We've had some amazing games. I know you're a big baseball guy, too.
Yeah.
But it's crazy to think the summer and like the dog days of summer are almost over here.
I mean, it's already right now. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, July and August and it's just like it's gone already. But that's okay. That means football is getting ready to start. Well, it's already started, as you know. I mean, training camp.
Yeah,
is
we'll
going
get into
on.
training camp.
You know, Greenbriar. You know, have you ever been to that place?
No, I haven't.
You know, I've been there.
Yeah, give us the rundown.
It's actually a pretty nice place. They have great golf courses.
Okay.
Because
let's not forget your almost hole-in-one.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't at Greenbriar when I almost had a hole-in-one. But I was going to say this. Ozzy bought a place down there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he bought a place down there and go down there and play golf with him and get on his nerves. He get on my nerves until we can't stand each other anymore. And then we exit the place. But, you know, the thing about the Browns, though, when they go there, they're not there for a long, long time. I mean, they go there probably a week or 2 weeks or something like that. And then they're gone. But and then they come back home and obviously get ready for the first game of the season. And then we talk about that. This is how we really know that football season has started because you got the game that's coming up. And this game obviously is the Hall of Fame.
Yes, the Hall of Fame festivities. I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, the induction and all that is coming up. You know what I started to do? Because I got an email. I sent you the email, but you probably never looked and saw it. We had an opportunity if we wanted to go down there and maybe tape the show from down in Canton. And I sent you an email, and I said, Gab, what do you think about this?
You did?
And you never responded to the email. I don't know. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to say, Bones, I'm going to say maybe it went into her spam.
No,
what do you think?
No, we're going to find this email. I don't believe
You look in there. You look at your email right now, and I guarantee you have an email from me, Hanford Top Dog Dixon, saying, "What do you think of this?" Because
okay,
and
I
then
don't see
because
it,
a couple of the guys, a couple of the directors down there, they wanted to come on our show. They wanted us to interview them. They wanted to talk a little bit about everything and all the activities that are going on at the Hall of Fame. And Gab, I don't know, you don't see it?
I can't find it, Mom, but. Maybe it did go to my spam.
Well, we'll wait till we take a break, and then I want you to look a little deep. I want you to put my name in there. You know how you.
I know. I got to have a star next to your name now
in your search engine. But Gab, we're going to talk about. Obviously, we're going to go around the AFC North, which is our division, and talk about the teams in there. Mm-hmm. And
we'll talk about the state of the Browns too.
Yeah,
right
and Deshaun obviously is a big topic because we want to know. We're going to figure out how his shoulder is doing, and that's a big thing. And then Nick Chubb. We got to figure out how he's doing, and then we're going to go over Greg Newsome, who we know, who just had surgery on his hamstring, and I still can't figure it out. And this is another thing we're going to talk about. They say that he's going to be ready to go by week 1 against the Dallas Cowboys, and I still don't understand how that, because, Gab, I could tell you this.
The hammy is
it's funny.
That's a tough one.
Gab, when you pull it, I mean, it's tough to get back, because a lot of people don't know this. What actually happened, like your hamstring or your quad, when you pull those muscles, it's actually bleeding on the inside. And that's why you really, right off the bat, you have to grab ice and put on that thing. And then after that, you do a contrast between ice and heat to try to get that thing back. But I can't even imagine having surgery on my hamstring. So,
well, I will tell you this, Top Dog. I'm doing some work for the Browns, contracted again this year, and we are doing a series that'll be out soon. But we do take a look behind the scenes at all of the things that they're doing from a research evidence-based standpoint about recovery and all kinds of things. And it is really fascinating. So the technology today is nuts. Obviously they do the hot cold therapy, but they are implementing all kinds of other things like hyperbaric chamber and just, there's a lot going on. So I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked.
So what are you trying to tell me? That's another
Nick
way.
Chubb, week 1.
No, that's
Greg Newsome, week 1.
That's another way you're telling me that I'm old.
You a little bit old.
Because of the technology and things they do now compared to the days when I played. They can bring them back much faster is what you're saying. I think it's time for a break now.
Okay, let's take a break. We'll be right back right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. We were just talking about all things old, all things new, and training camp. And I actually want to ask you, Top Dog, the way that training camp is today and their whole flow before the season, it had to be a little different when you were playing. And what was that like?
Yeah, I mean, you look at it today, it's totally different. I mean, obviously, these guys, what happened was they practiced a day or two over in Berea, and then they just take off, and then they go to Greenbriar in West Virginia. They're there for about maybe a week or a few days. They're practicing, but we didn't do any of that. What we did was we were pretty much the whole camp was at Lakeland Community College.
Yeah.
And we would go there, and pretty much we spent the whole time there doing our practicing. But the major difference in what I see in training camp, when I played and the way it is today, these guys, man, they have it made. I mean, they really have it made. It was funny because when we had training camp, I was talking to Andre Reed. He and I just did an event at the IX Center where they had a bunch of people in, a bunch of players come in, and we were all signing autographs, and we were talking about it because we practice hard. I mean, we went against each other. We had what we call two-a-days. And can you imagine, as hot as it is right now, carrying those pads for in the morning and an evening practice? And I'm telling you, we went after it. And when I say we tackle, we tackle. Yeah. I mean, and today, you can't even look at these players hard because, and I'm not mad at them. I just, certain things, that we did, they just don't do today. And is that my phone again?
I'm serious. I honestly,
you couldn't hardly hear that though. It was just
A for effort.
Yeah. But the biggest thing is what you do, what they're doing, and what they don't do now. But I'm excited though about this training camp, Gab, and I know that was your next question you was going to shoot off at me. I'm excited about it because I want to see how certain players are going to respond. And we talked about it a little bit, talked about Greg Newsome, obviously having surgery, and when they say had surgery on his hamstring, only thing I could just imagine them going in and laying him down and cutting him open or something and repairing that. That's crazy. I mean, that hamstring and see, here's where I think the difference is, where I think it's going to take a little bit longer than what they're saying. I think when they say he's going to be back for the first game, I think they're hoping that he'll be back for the first game because Greg Newsome is a guy. I mean, let's face it, he's got to be out there with the world-class sprinters. Yeah. I mean, he's covering wide receivers, and he's got to be able to run. I mean, and run fast. So that's going to be interesting to see what happened. And I've heard, Gab, I don't know if you've heard this, I've heard with Deshaun at training camp already with that shoulder. Obviously, they have him like a pitcher on a pitch count, and about my understanding is he's throwing a lot of balls, but a lot of those balls are short passes. They're not the deep passes yet.
Like a progression.
Yeah, because they don't want to injure that shoulder because he's a big part of what we're doing and what we're trying to get going. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens, and I'm just so happy that this whole thing is kicked off and that we have training camp right now, and it's all going good. Amari Cooper.
Finally, So what did you think about this deal? Extra $5 million.
And I'm happy. I'm happy because I think he's trying to get to 10,000 yards this year. I think he's trying to get that done. And my understanding is what they're probably doing is they're trying to work a long-term deal with him, even though he's up there a little bit in age. But Amari Cooper's still doing his thing.
Yeah.
So I was a little bit shocked when he said that he was going to possibly sit out. And because he just doesn't seem like that type of guy. I mean, again, we're talking about a guy from Alabama that came from Alabama, and but I'm looking at the whole offense. It's just going to be right. And then your guy, Nick Chubb.
Oh, boy. I mean, what do you think? What are your predictions on that?
Well, here's
you thinking for Greg Newsome, it's going to be really tough to get there week 1. But.
Yeah. Well, my understanding is in training camp, they say Nick Chubb is ahead of schedule. He's ahead of schedule where he should be. With him, they got to take it day by day. And they have to be very, very careful with him, which I think they will be. The thing about Nick Chubb, I mean, that's the second time he's had surgery on that knee. But if anyone can come back from it, Nick Chubb can. I mean, he is just, he's just that type of guy. And I like him. He's one of my favorite players on this football team on offense. And I don't like many players on offense. So it's going to be interesting to see what happened with that. But then again, when you look at it, I'm going to switch over to our defense now and our secondary. I like our whole secondary. I like where we are. If Greg Newsome can't do the job, Cameron Mitchell, he's the guy that's going to have to step in, and he's going to be that cover guy in the slot that's going to have to take care of that. Because when you look at it, we got Ward on the outside, and then we got Emerson on the outside. And those two guys, I'm telling you, because quiet as it's been kept, Emerson has taken over that corner spot from Greg Newsome, because you remember Greg Newsome was the guy on the outside until Emerson came in, and now Emerson out of Mississippi State is pretty much taken. So our secondary is in pretty good tech. I mean, and anytime you have a defensive line like what they have, they can really play a lot of bump and run, and I think they'll play a lot of bump and run. So,
is it possible the defense could be better this year than last?
Yeah, we're going to be good, but here's the problem I had, and the problem I had last year with the defense is they played well at home. I mean, you can't. Right. I mean, at home you couldn't beat them. I mean, but on the road, I mean, defense have to be able to travel, and the Browns, I'm telling you, when you look at this football team, and I don't have to tell you, you already know this, but this football team has a lot of talent on it. It has a lot of talent, and it has the guys that should be able to get us where we want to go. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen. And then I'm looking. Gab, I was so happy when they brought in. They added to that coaching staff, or did they add him to the coaching staff, or is he a consultant? I'm trying to figure.
Vrabel?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. And the good thing about it, he's a local guy. I mean, he went to. I mean, obviously he was from Ohio State, and I don't know how. I heard that he's not going to be on the sidelines.
Coaching and personnel consultant.
Yeah. Now, whatever that means, I don't know. But he's not going to be on the sideline. I guess he's going to be just overseeing stuff. And when he see it, if he want to, I guess he's going to comment or whatever. But that depends on how Stefanski is. Is he, not worried about it? Because when you see Graham, he talking about a guy that was a head coach.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's going to be interesting.
This will be an interesting dynamic. We
Yes.
got to take another break.
Yes.
We'll be back with more Hanford Dixon Show. We'll get a little more into that right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. We're talking all things Browns now, and we've got the season training camp at least underway. Kevin Stefanski coming out, Top Dog, announcing that he's going to be doing the play calling this year. Do you think that's the right call, this 2-time Coach of the Year we've got?
Before I answer that, I have a question for you. Are you surprised?
No.
No, that's what I say. I am not surprised. Actually, I don't have a problem with him calling the plays because he seems to do a pretty good job. I get, I think sometimes that watching that bootleg where they come back faking in one way and then coming back the other way. It's amazing to me that you look at defenses that can't pick up that thing right away, because I guarantee you there's all kind of little clues and little things that give it away to let them know that that's coming. I know that's one of the things that we used to do, and I used to do, obviously, with my film study. We wanted to know what you're going to do, and because what teams normally do, they're going to do what they do best. They'll try to disguise it a little bit, but they normally going to do what they do best. But Stefanski, I kind of like him calling the plays, and I don't have a problem with it because once you, it's like being addicted to it, because he can't. I don't think he can give it up. Just like I don't think and he's not the only coach. Don't get me wrong. He's not the only coach that can't give it up. But why should he give it up if he's doing a really good job with it? And I have to give him a lot of credit. I think he does a really good job with it. So I'm excited about him calling the plays.
Okay, very nice. And Ken Dorsey's role as offensive coordinator, you're confident in this dynamic?
Well, and that's another thing. Now, I don't know why, because normally if you have the title of offensive coordinator, that tells you pretty much that you are calling the plays. And just like I don't know, for whatever, it's not coming to me, but the guy who had the title as offensive coordinator on this team last year, I mean, he had that title too, but he still wasn't calling the plays. And when I think of offensive coordinator, I think he's the guy that's in charge of the entire offense. And when you're in charge of the entire offense, you are calling the plays. So I think Kevin Stefanski should have the title head coach / offensive coordinator. I think that's what he should. So / I don't think by any means this is Dorsey's offense. I mean, they could say that, but I think it's still Kevin Stefanski's offense, because he is the one that's calling the plays, and he's the one that's making sure all those guys are really where they should be. Now, I'm okay with Dorsey being here. I mean, we'll see. I mean, the jury's still out, but if they want to give him the title of the offensive coordinator, I mean, so be it. Let him have it.
Okay, so what do you think about the offensive line, though? Let's talk about the depth there. We talked about injuries before, Conklin. Are you concerned there?
That's the key, because how many times have I said it right here on this show and over again? That's where the game of football is played. That's where the game of football is controlled, right there on the offensive and defensive line of scrimmage. And when you look at it, you look at our offensive line, and obviously, I mean, Callahan, who was, let's just face it, I mean, a hell of a coach. Offensive line coach. And now he's gone to help his son out, who's got the head coaching job. Now, what's going to happen is, and you mentioned it, Gab, talk about Conklin, who has a knee injury. But who I can't wait to see is he's at the right tackle spot, or he's going to be at the right tackle spot. Big, massive DeJuan Jones. I mean, this big tackle, I can't wait to see him and see what he's going to do. And then obviously Jane Hudson, who is the left tackle, the third, he's going to be the guy. But that whole and then that whole offensive line is, I think I don't think with Callaway being gone, I don't think that would affect them too much, because you got Joel Petonio, guys like that on that offensive line, veteran guys that's going to make sure the younger players do what they're supposed to do. And Callahan, even though he's not there anymore, what he taught those guys, they're going to carry that on, and it's still, I think they'll still be a very, very, very good offensive line. And again, I can't say it enough. I go over it over and over again. That's where the game is controlled. That's where the game is played, on the offensive and defensive line of scrimmage. So I'm excited. And then when you got a guy like you got Strong, who's going to be running the football. Obviously, Nick Chubb is going to be our main back. I don't care.
How about we haven't talked about Jerry Jeudy yet.
Well, I was getting ready to go there, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because when you look at it, I think we have 3 guys. Now, I'm from Alabama.
Oh, really?
I'm from Alabama. I'm an Alabama guy now. We got 3 guys from Alabama on that offense. You got Jeudy, you got Derek Wills, and Amari Cooper. We got 3 guys on that offense from Roll Tide, Alabama. So that offense is gonna be deadly. But I couldn't wait to get that in. But
which is so funny, because if the people don't know, Hanford, you did not go to Alabama.
I did, but I had scholarship. I had a scholarship.
We know you got a little more about
Yeah, we won't say the true reason why I didn't go, but I am a huge, and I'll tell you again.
Hey, did your family members ever forgive you for not going there?
Never. Still have family members that won't talk to me because and won't forgive me because I didn't go to the University of Alabama. I didn't sign with Bear Bryant, but that's okay. But I'm still a big Alabama fan. But overall, to wrap this thing up on this offense, it should be an offense that is able to move the football. It should be an offense that's able to put a lot of points on the board. And what's going to happen is this whole we're going to have to do that in order to keep pace with every team in the AFC North, because each and every team in the AFC North are strong teams. And I know we're gonna dive into each individual team in the AFC North coming up in this segment, because it wouldn't surprise me, Gab, and you and I have talked about this off the air, if each single team in the AFC North make the playoffs, because they're strong. And again, we're talking about this offense. They have to be able to put points on the board. And again, the defense have to be able to play on the road. Can't just play well at home. Can't just do that. You got to play well at home, but you have to be able to play well when we go on the road, and that's going to be interesting with these guys.
And we got to stay healthy too.
Well, we got to stay healthy, but you got to understand this too. All the teams are going to have injuries.
Yep.
All the teams are going to have injuries, and once you have that injury, you just got to have someone to step up in that place and just take over from that guy. But every team is going to have injury. Let's just hope some of the other teams have more than what we have.
Amen. All right, we're going to take another break, and we'll be back with more Hanford Dixon Show right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. We ready. We ready. We've been goofing around in the breaks.
I was waiting on you to sing. I mean, you haven't.
No. Hey, did you know, speaking of singing, I had tonsillitis for like 4 weeks. I had to go on antibiotics because it kept coming back and my vocal cords were all inflamed.
Really?
Yeah, like at the golf outing, I was struggling.
Oh, my goodness.
But now I'm back, baby. We're back. I don't know why I use this as a microphone, because this is the microphone.
That voice. Gab, one thing you could do now, and Bones will agree with this, you could sing. I mean, that's one thing you could do.
I can't even shut up when I just be going. I'm singing.
I take that back. There's 2 things you could do. You can run and you can sing.
and I can roast you.
Right.
Oh, man.
Oh, that was good. Okay.
Thank you. On that note, let's talk about the defense.
Can anyone else in your family sing like you?
Papa Cruz can carry a tune.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
He actually can dance pretty good.
So that's where you got it from?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. My mom, though, was really fast.
Oh.
She was like a state champion sprinter. So like the running, I think, comes from her, and the sing. Papa Cruz sounds good.
Now, that sounds like that should be the other way. Flip it a little bit. The running should come from your dad, and the singing from your mom.
Really? Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, but we'll take it.
Well,
that's
they're both
right.
athletes, but my mom is not a singer. No offense.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Okay, defense. I want to get your thoughts on this Browns defense. So we got a little bit into it, but we can really start to dissect here. And I wanted to start with, because you've been saying, defense is everything. You talked an awful lot about the offense there for a minute. We got to get you in your element here. Do you think our secondary is top 5 in the NFL? Like, what are you thinking about our secondary in general?
I think there's no question they're ranked at least that high. And I think there's a possibility they can be even higher. I mean, because when you look at it and look at the guys, I mean, it all starts right there with Denzel Ward, who I think right now is one of the better cover guys in the league right now. And the thing about it, I mean, obviously on the other side we got Emerson, who this kid, I mean, since he's come into this, joined this football team from Mississippi State, I mean, he's done nothing but just jump right in there and play. I mean, just play, and he's not afraid to compete. I think the big thing about him is, as a cornerback, you have to have a short memory, and this kid realized that, and he understands that. He knows that sometimes those wide receivers or whoever he's covering, they're going to beat him, but he doesn't worry about it. He just forget about it, and he just lines up for the next play, because I think he's got the mindset that he's going to win more of those battles than he's going to lose. And then, I mean, as far as, because when you look at it, Gab, you look at the offensive formations, the way they're coming out, they're throwing the football so much today. They're lined up in 3 and 4 receiver sets. So you got to have at least 3 or 4 guys that can cover. And that other guy comes in is Greg Newsome. I mean, you can say what you want to say about Greg Newsome. I mean, he's the guy, too, that can cover, and he's the guy that jump in there and he will compete. That's why I'm praying and hoping that he comes back from that hamstring injury, from that surgery. I hope he comes back better than ever, and I think he will. I really think that he will.
He's young. He's agile.
He is. He really is, and the kid that we drafted also, Cameron Mitchell, this kid can play. He'll jump in there, and until Greg Newsome gets back, he's the one that's going to jump in there. And I haven't even started talking about the safeties yet, but when you look at all those guys can sit up and play. Here's one of those guys trying to call me now, but I'm not going to answer their call. I'll just call them back. But that whole secondary is strong. And but see, where it all starts with them, I think one of the weak spots on that defense is going to be the linebackers. I think that's where we may have a problem. I think that's where we have to get stronger. But, Gab, I have to say this.
Yes.
We have a guy, and we used to say this in the locker room all the time. I know a guy, but we have a guy, and I'm talking about J.O.K.
Oh, yes. I'm glad we're talking about him. He's going to have a big year. We're going to use him a lot, obviously.
Gab, the real deal. He's the real deal.
He is the real deal.
He is the real
monster.
deal.
He is a force to be reckoned with.
And I guarantee you this, no one studies films. No one is getting ready for a game better than J.O.K. You could tell it by the way he plays. You could tell it about how he read plays, because if you watch him, he knows what the offense is going to do before they even do it, and he's making that play. So this guy is awesome. And then let's jump to the defensive line. That's led by Myles Garrett. I don't have to tell you, when I say his name, you start smiling. I mean, Myles is, and it's hard to believe that I think, what is this, Myles' 7th or 8th year already in the National Football League. And then he's got his guy Zadarius, who's on the other side. So, and then you got Tomlin, who's coming off a little bit of a injury. But to make a long story short, when you look at those guys on defense, I think they're going to be awesome and great. Again, the only problem I have, they have to be able to travel and not just play well at home. And I think that'll start with their defensive coordinator. And a lot of people don't know your boy from Ohio State, Rabel, the old head coach. He used to be a defensive coordinator. So from time to time, he could probably jump in there and maybe see something as a consultant and maybe apply that and help those guys out. But this defense is going to be strong, and I guarantee you they'll, when you look at all the stats toward the end of the year and during the season, they'll be pretty much up there in the top 5 with stats.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything, but I think they're going to be. I think they're going to be strong, and I think they'll be ready. Again, they have to learn how to play on the road now. Can't just play good at home.
Yeah.
You got to play well on the road, and I think if they do that, they'll be okay. I'm
interested to see Myles Garrett too, because like being Defensive Player of the Year, I I mean, obviously you got to double on this guy, but like, I wonder, is he going to be even more dominant than he ever was? Because he's got that monkey off his back. You know, he's got his due flowers, and now can he just relax and be even crazier than we've ever seen? I'm not like, he's already top level of his game.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Why when you say Myles Garrett's name, you just start smiling?
He's so weird like this.
Why? Well, I tell you why you're smiling, because you know that he's a dominant player.
Yeah, I'm looking at these, like, you can't even fathom the bodies we have on this team. We talked about JOK. Myles Garrett is another one. They're playing it. There's like a level that the NFL is, and it's already up here. And there's a couple guys that are literally playing up here. And you're like, could they even go higher than that?
You go, girl.
It's just kind of wild to think about.
That's what I'm talking about. You go, girl. Give me something.
Okay, we gotta take a break, and then we'll be back with more Hanford Dixon Show right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. Do I throw you the curveball?
Yes.
We were just talking about, we want to go around the AFC North, and we want to dive into these teams. We were just dancing around which team to start with, and Bohm, our producer, said maybe I should just throw you a curveball and start with the Ravens instead of the Bengals, because we like to map out a little bit here. But where do you want to go first, Hanford?
You know what? Let's jump into the Bengals.
Yeah.
Let's.
They were 9-8 last year. Joe Burrow's got a new haircut. He's healthy, right? Or on the mend.
Yeah, he is. He is healthy. Did
he is healthy.
Did you like that? His hair looks.
Yeah, because he's been playing. Yeah, because did you know the backstory of how he died?
No.
I mean, I guess he was bored. I thought it was funny, but he also B.J. Hill and him at practice or something. He said, "I'll dye my hair blonde if you do." So then he made B.J. Hill dye his hair blonde, and he did.
Well, quarterbacks normally have that effect on people, but I'm looking at his hair and looking at your hair, and
I have to go a little lighter to get his shade.
Hey, Bones, I would have to dye my scalp to, because I don't have any hair. So my scalp. What are you laughing at, Gab? You think that's funny, huh?
This guy.
Can
you imagine? We should do a bet on this show, and then if you lost it, you have to come in with a blonde wig.
Let's just don't do that bet. Let's talk about these Bengals though.
If the Browns lose X game, you've got to.
Gab, you know what I did? I was talking about the AFC North and how strong that division is, and. And let's start with those Bengals, and you hit right on it. They had a record of 9-8, and that was without their number one guy. Talking about Joe Burrow, who got hurt, and they're very good. They're a deep football team. They're a good football team, and they're a football team that's coming back with a vengeance this year. Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins. I mean, two weapons that. Burrows have at his disposal, two guys that he's going to throw the football to a lot. And their defense is not bad either. I mean, their defense is pretty darn good. That secondary led by Mike Hilton. Geno Stone is a guy that's playing at safety. Linebacker, they got Wilson, Hubbard, Hickerson, who's coming off a little injury. But the Cincinnati Bengals is going to be a strong, strong team in the AFC North, and that's who we're going to have to compete with. That other team a little bit farther down south in Ohio. So we'll be ready for them. You want to jump to the Steelers?
Yes. Okay, Steelers. Man, Mike Tomlin always making something of this team. 10-7 last year. All right, they've got Fields and Wilson. They got their quarterbacks situation. Yeah, what are your thoughts this year on where that Mike Tomlin always is able to get there, playoffs, and now he really does have some more ammunition than last year. So.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting listening to people and hear their different comments on obviously the two quarterbacks that they have, talking about Fields and Russell Wilson, and which guy they want to see lead this offense. I mean, you look at Fields. My understanding, Fields is not having a very good camp. He's not having a very good camp, and Russell Wilson kind of opened the door a little bit for him because he's addressing tightness of his calf injury. And so Fields is getting all the first team reps right now, but they're saying that from everything that I'm hearing coming out of Pittsburgh that he's not taking advantage of that situation. And again, they brought in Arthur Smith from Atlanta. He's the offensive coordinator. He's the guy that's putting in the new offense, and he's the guy that's pretty much, along with Mike Tomlin, going to decide which one of those guys are going to start. If it was me making that call, I would have to go with Russell Wilson. I mean, because I think he's the guy that's been there. He's pretty much been a Hall of Fame quarterback, and I would like to see him do it. And Najee Harris, another Alabama guy, at the running back position. But again, here is where the Steelers, I think, are going to excel, and I think their defense. When you look at their defense, I'm telling you, they are just something else, and it all is led with the guy who's going neck and neck all the time with Myles Garrett, T.J. Watt. T.J. Watt. I'm telling you, this guy. And then he's got Highsmith. He's got another guy on the other side that's just a monster. And then you look in that secondary, you got Joey Porter, who was a rookie last year, who's got some experience at corner. He's coming in there. Dante Jackson. You got Elliott and Fitzpatrick at safety. And, boy, you got the old veteran at defensive tackle, Cameron Haywood. So those guys are going to be tough. Now, again, that AFC North is going to be tough. We got one other team.
We got to go to your boy Ozzy's team.
We got one other team we got to talk about.
Let's talk about these Ravens, okay? And Lamar Jackson, because, I mean, have we talked yet about, like, the changes he's been making? And what are you thinking about? I mean, he's already so dominant, but
Lamar is on a mission. He's on a mission right now. And the mission that he's on, I mean, they're a little bit upset because they think that they're better than they were better than the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, they lost the game to the Kansas City Chiefs. They kept them out of the Super Bowl, so they're hot. Again, they went 13-4 last year. Lamar's got a lot of weapons. Zay Flowers, who's a guy. You got Rashad Bateman, who's a guy. You got Aguilar. And then when you look at it, look at the tight end, Mark Andrews, who's one of the best tight ends in the National Football League. And they're good on offense, and then you turn around and then you look at their defense. I'm talking about some dogs.
Yeah.
I mean, they literally have some dogs on that defense, and it all starts with the number one guy, the linebacker, Roquan Smith. I wish we had that guy, Roquan Smith, on our defense playing linebacker alone with. Can you imagine if he was on that playing defense on us with JOK? Oh, my goodness. And they got Kyle Van Noy, who is also their linebacker. They got a guy now, I think he's getting a little bit old. I had the opportunity to meet his dad, talking about Marvin Humphrey, who is the other corner on there, who's still playing at a high level. But their number one guy is their safety, a guy by the name of Kyle Hamilton. Yeah. I mean, this kid, I tell you, he is just he's just been everything and then some for this football team, playing extremely, extremely well. And then when you look at the defense, Roddy Stanley, who is one of their defensive tackles. So to sum this whole thing up, Baltimore Ravens is always there. They're going to be there. We have to meet them twice a year. We have to meet the Pittsburgh Steelers twice a year. We have to play the Cincinnati Bengals twice a year because they're all in the same division. And it wouldn't surprise me, I'm telling you, it would not surprise me if each and every team in the AFC North make it to the playoffs, because that's how strong the division is. And the AFC North, I think is the strongest division in football, and that's saying a lot.
And that means we have exciting football.
We have exciting football, so it's gonna be good. And like I told Ozzy, I say, Big
Dog. What do you BS with Ozzy about?
I told him, he said, I said, you guys got a good team, but I said, Dog, we have a good one up here too. I said, we have a good one up here too. And I tell you what, our boys going to be ready to go. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Do you two break down, you call each other after, you probably, if they lost, you give them a day.
Yes.
If you lost, but then you're like, get on the phone.
You're exactly right.
Give him
a day or two. Not right away. Can't talk right away because emotions are too high right there.
Yeah. That's too funny. All right, we got to take another break. We'll be back with more Hanford Dixon Show right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon show, where Hanford wears headphones even though we don't have a virtual guest because he loves to hear himself speak.
Some people say I'm no good. I'm crazy as can be. I get drunk in the morning. I get stoned in the afternoon. But I ain't asking nobody for nothing if I can't get it on my own. If you don't like the way I'm living, just leave this short hair country boy alone.
Oh, that last note was beautiful. He sunk down for that.
You would appreciate that.
I appreciated that note. Alone.
Leave the so short hair country boy alone, goddammit.
Yes.
Leave him alone. Leave him alone.
We were so close to not needing to bleep you out today.
Can you believe, though, the season started?
Yeah, no, I'm excited, and I got to get more Browns gear, I think. You got to get me some cute gear.
I have to get you some gear.
Yeah, just get me something. Like, I have stuff that the Browns have given me, but it feels so, like, I'm not a polo person.
Okay, we gotta get you some.
Yeah, we'll get something.
We gotta get you some.
And we are not leaving this show without letting this be known. We have decided during the break, Bohm, as our producer, holding us accountable for this.
I'm wondering whose side is he on. I'm starting to figure it out. That he's on your side and not mine.
We are not glossing over the wig possibility. I think maybe the Halloween episode or something. We got to do a bet. If you lose a bet, I don't know. But you're gonna wear a blonde wig at some point. This could happen.
Well, I don't think I have a choice because I think you two have gotten together and outvoted me, so I don't have a choice. I have to do it. I could see everyone, like Bo said, looking at the show like, what the hell? We got to let everybody know too. We are since the season have started, we will be pretty much new show every week, correct, guys?
Yeah, we gotta just have some cool
guests. Did you see the way Bone looked when we said that? He's like we're gonna have some great guests too.
Yeah,
we're gonna have some great guests, and we're gonna really hump this thing up this football season and get it going.
We got it, partner.
You got it. How
much time do we have left? Some people. No, I'm just kidding.
You can always sing. You can always do what you want to do.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'm tap dancing now.
Real quick, did you agree with me with my assessment of the AFC North and how strong this division is?
Oh, yeah. I don't think your perspective's unique. Okay. I think a lot of people are giving this division the credit that it's due. And that's why I think it'll be really interesting and exciting, barring that everyone's healthy. Like, if we get Deshaun back and we already know, Burrow, this could really all...
Yeah.
Be something to see.
Yeah.
Of course, we want to be at the top of it, but I'm saying no matter what, we're going to be seeing some pretty good football. It's really nice to feel part of that.
But I think our guys understand and realize that they have to earn it, and I think they're ready to do that, and they're ready to go out and they're ready to snatch this division.
We're going to see what we're made of.
You got it.
Okay, Top Dog, good show. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
I forgot to tell you because we only have 15 seconds left. Did you see how all these quarterbacks are getting all that money? Oh, my God. Tua just got paid, and all the quarterbacks right now. And every one of them that signed, you don't have to comment, but every one of them that signed, over $200 million.
Money, money, money.